Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. And, yeah, back here with Alcazolka in, was it? Camp Tranquil. Wow. Level 68. Serenia, something's terribly wrong. Ever since he collapsed, Setoto hasn't so much as stirred. According to Sarita Karita, the sickness transforms not only the body, but also the quality of the afflicted individual's ether. As such, attempting to summoning Lilac in her current state likely drained her of nearly all her vitality. A bit of rest, however, should have been enough to replenish her reserves, and she should be awake by now. The fact that she's not means something else is amiss. Please go and have a word for Sarita Karita, scholar to scholar. Perhaps if you were to combine your wits, you might learn what is wrong. I shall remain here and look after Setoto. Yeah, sorry for my hodgepodge of looks here. I have considered glamoring, but considering the white mage and the scholar currently use the same equipment, and I actually want them to have separate looks. I'm still a bit hesitating. Oh well. Doesn't matter for the quality of the playing, right? Okay, Sarito. Any idea? So Setoto still slumbers on. Normally when scholars summon their fairies, they do so by extracting a portion of the ether circulating through their body and willing it to take shape. By releasing that form, they can then dismiss it and the ether will flow back into their bodies. This is what should have happened to Setoto when she fell unconscious. I cannot understand why she remains asleep unless... What if she only managed a partial summoning? There's a possibility that all of Setoto's ether fled from her body upon calling to Lilac, causing her to then fall unconscious before the fairy could fully manifest. That would mean the unbound phantom is out there somewhere, aimlessly roaming the land and preventing her from regaining consciousness. You and Alka must hurry to find dispatch of it before it wanders too far. It may be the only way to wake her. Okay, hunting it. So, Alcazolka. Finally you've returned. What did Sarita Karita have to say? A partially summoned familiar? Then, as Sarita Karita suggests, we must hunt this thing down and destroy it. Do you recall how, right before Setoto fell unconscious in the room, a purple sphere of light appeared before us? That must have been the phantom fairy to which she refers. Problem is, the moment it materialized, it vanished from under Underpaw Keep. There's no telling where it could have gone. The two of you are looking awfully somber. What's wrong? Does this thing by any chance resemble a floating violet orb? So you've seen it? No, but lately many of the whalers have been claiming they've encountered a spectre in the forest. In fact, the reports have been so numerous in number that I've been given orders to investigate the matter. Interestingly enough, the description they've given me seems to match with phantom fairy of yours. Aye, that'll be it, alright? Well, I'd like to immediately begin my search for this fairy spectre. There are a few rather pressing matters I must attend to first. Not to worry, Serenia, and I will take care of it from here. We've already troubled you enough as is. Very well then, my men have spotted the thing along the upper paths and snake mold. You may want to begin searching both those places. Thank you. I'm not doing it for you, I'm doing it for the young lady. It's not as though I could simply stand by and watch as a helpless girl fights for her life. may not seem it, but somewhere in that man is a good heart. Now, man, let's immediately begin surveying the areas Lionel mentioned. You take the upper paths, I go to snake mode. Nothing. Something we have to fight. Out of the corner of your eye, you see an eerie glowing presence floating toward you. It releases a hideous scream and you find yourself under attack. I found something. But I don't think it was the Phantom Fairy. Ah, it's about time you came, my friend. I was beginning to grow concerned. One of the beasts and foes had gotten the better of you. I myself encountered a fair few woodland creatures during my search, one of which was a purple sphere of light. Alas, it turned out to simply be a will of the wisps. By the expression on your face, I assume your investigation went no better? Ah, where in the seven hells did that thing fly off to? There you are. Just a moment ago, one of my men was attacked by your fairy. What? According to him, it has appeared into the lost city of Amdapor. We won't be able to give chase just yet, however. Entry to the area is heavily restricted to the darkness which permits it. We need to receive permission from the Order of a Twin Adder. I shall go and request that right now. In the meantime, I ask that you wait here. Lionel, with all due respect, why is it that you're so intent on helping us? To put it bluntly, the fairy is our responsibility, not yours. I told you before, green of skin or not, I cannot stand to see the young girl suffer. After all, the duty of the strong is to protect the weak. Now, if the two of you are planning on joining me on this fight against the fairy phantom, I suggest you begin making preparations. Taking this thing down is going to be no easy task. That was rather unspectacular. Serenia, you're here, excellent. Lionel, mere moments ago, received the necessary authorization for us to enter Amdapor. He'll also be accompanying us into the Lost City. He claims that in watching over Setoto, he's developed a brotherly affection for her and wants to help. Honestly, I think he's just raring for a fight. Well, whatever his reasons, I'm simply glad for his assistance. The more seasoned fighters we take, the faster we'll be able to dispatch the parasite leeching Setoto of our ether. Now let us head to the gates where we will be meeting Lionel. Lost City. But where will it be? You hunt targets. I'll deal with this in a moment. Are you ready, Serenia? Good. The moment Lionel joins us, we'll enter the lost city. Okay. I feared it would happen. Serenia? Lionel, after the ferry! Where is it going? Is it trying to lead us somewhere? Well... Keepers of ancient Amdapur, no doubt. Let's quickly finish them. Probably not up west, but down here. Look, it's the top of steps. Must hurry and topple these things. Royal them. Let me guess, you're flowing to the statue of a final boss of this dungeon and possess it. Is it waiting for us? Because I always wondered why that statue remains. Fallen Kuribo. Serenia, fall back and provide us cover. Then on your guard, it comes. Nope. Far away. Ugh, dang it. Yeah, I need to be closer. I realize that. Shadow strikes. Would you please go out of my way? Okay. Huh. Good. Is it gone? Ha! It is! We did it! It's another victory for the Royal Marines! The statue stopped moving and the earlier dread I felt has begun to recede. It appears the Phantom Fairy is no longer. Yes, which means there's a very good chance that Setoto's Aether has returned to her. She'll be up soon. Let's hurry back so that you might have a friendly face to wake up to. something? The soulstone? Or split? What is that? No. Large ruby or something. From the statue? Serenia, what in the God's name are you doing? Come, we must return to Camp Tranquil post-haste. That fight took a lot more out of me than I thought it did. Where's Setoto and Len and Elf for that matter? Setoto, you're awake! Okay, what's wrong? Are you alright? Do you not remember? You attempted to summon Lilac and fell unconscious. You've been asleep this entire time. Well, at least until we defeated the fairy you had called forth. I had no idea. I'm so sorry. It was never my intention to place any of you in harm's way. While I was sleeping, I had a dream. It was of my father. When the first wave of a sickness hit, person after person began taking ill. I watched as he and the other scholars rushed through the streets trying to save anyone they could. When the sickness struck me, when my skin began to turn green and my limbs began to shrink, he decided to embark upon a mission to obtain the cure, one he knew was destined to end in failure from the very start. He made his way to where all the white mages resided, the enemy nation of Amdapur. In a last-ditch attempt to save me, he infiltrated their borders. I suppose we all know how that story ends. Even if he no longer cared for me, loathed me even, for what I had become, it wouldn't matter. I just wish I could have seen him one last time. What are you talking about, Setoto? Your father would have been delighted to see the stunning woman you've grown into. Thank you, Alfka. You always know what to say. While I've always known I'd never feel my father's loving embrace, I had thought that maybe, just maybe, I could have at least seen his fairy. In my selfish desire to do so, however, I put everyone in danger, including Lilac. Words are not enough to express how sorry I am. That reminds me, Setoto, do you have any idea why Lilac was so drawn to the lost city? You need not worry about it, friend. There's like little rhyme or reason to the action of a frenzied fairy. Maybe, but the way she was moving seemed deliberate, almost as though she was trying to show us something. Do you have any idea, Serenian? A gemstone? I think this is what Lilac was trying to lead us to? We should take it to Cerrito Carito where he might examine it. He of all people will be able to comprehend its significance. Oh, I nearly forgot. Landonil, thank you for taking care of me when I was unwell. Think nothing of it. The world may be full of self-serving men and women, but don't forget that not all of us are like that. Should you run into someone or something that threatens to hurt you, be sure to come and find me. Once I run them through with my lance, they should bother you no longer. Thank you, sir. I'll be sure to do that. And back to the wondrous palace. Cerrito Carito, there's something we would like for you to examine. Serenia discovered this gemstone in the lost city of Amdapur. It seemed as if to be of great import to the fairy Setoto summoned. Indeed. Dear gods, it couldn't possibly be. This gemstone, it appears to contain concentrated white magic. How did you find this? Ah, from what you described, I can only surmise that this is the Guardian statue's crystal core and the source of its power. Is it possible when this is what Setoto's father sought to acquire by infiltrating Amdapor? It is very likely. Had the Nymeans managed to attain and analyze one of these gemstones, we could have found the remedies to any number of diseases, possibly even that of a sickness which destroyed our lands. It's just as I thought. Lilas was acting with deliberate intent. She had guided us to the lost city that we might uncover this. Normally, a fairy which has failed to fully manifest is nothing more than a sphere of turbulent etheric energy, incapable of being manipulated by its summoner. Lilac, however, is in part a remnant of her father's ether. Perhaps she retained her strong will to see that Setoto was saved. Lilac, Father, thank you. Thank you for everything. In my selfish desire to reconnect with my father, I caused the two of you a great deal of distress. For that, I'm terribly sorry. In Setoto, there's no need to apologize. Your undying gratitude is more than enough. Thank you, Alka, for everything. That you should even now treat me like the young lady I once was is perhaps what I've come to like about you most. My apologies, Setoto. I didn't quite catch that. Do you think you could... Setoto, are you alright? You're going red. Maybe you need to lay down and rest? I'm perfectly fine, although, Alka, the next time the Royal Marines are out training, would it be alright if I joined you? Of course, you'd be a fine addition to our ranks, my lady. You're the daughter of one of Nim's very own Royal Marines, after all. For now, this is enough. When the day comes that I regain my original body, however, I pray that you give me strength, Father, Lilac, that I might one day convey my feelings to him. The two of you have gone to great lengths to bring Setoto safely back to us. For that I cannot thank you enough. This gemstone that you brought back from Underpool at Lilac's behest will no doubt pave the way for a new generation of scholars. I shall begin analyzing this gemstone straight away. I will do whatever it takes to discover the cure and thus carry on Setoto's father's legacy. And speaking of legacy, you have shaped up to be a mighty fine scholar, Serenium. I cannot help but feel proud whenever I look upon you. What a relief it is that Setoto is back to normal. While incredibly trying, I cannot help but be glad for our little misadventure. Not only will it aid Cerrito Carito's efforts to discover a cure, but the Royal Marines have become all the stronger for it. We have even earned ourselves a new member. I know I don't say it enough, but thank you, Serenia, for always being there. You're an excellent scholar and an even better friend. Now, let us leave this place. It is past time we returned home to continue our training. To victory! Come hells or high water! This is when a fairy summon and an ether flow action successful. Lilac has bequeathed all her knowledge of Nemean military tactics to you. This concludes Shadowbringers, must complete the World Quest Soul of Temperance, and then from Alka-Zolka. Fairy Gauge unlocked. depleting me. Flow Gauge. Maintaining Aether Pact or using Fey Blessing consumes Fey Ether. But what does Aether Pact do exactly? This is still something I'm not quite... What is this Fey Union effect? I'm just too stupid to know? Here, Fey Union. Gradually restores HP of party member which fairy has a Fey Union. Fairy God is depleted while HP is restored. Fey Union effect fades upon execution of other fairy action. Party member must be within 15 yards. Okay. So it is a region effect for one party member and I need fairy cage. Okay. Right, equipment. Whoa. Whoa. I don't like the color, but otherwise it looks quite nice. But can be probably later upgraded and then you can change the color, so fine enough. Okay, but that is for today. Until next time, when we play more Final Fantasy XIV, I'm Mace and don't get lost.